The last couple of weeks have been quite sombre with a major world event, and certainly the UK has been rocked to its core with the passing of the Queen. So it seems quite fitting that I'm actually going to be reviewing a Bremont Her Majesty's Armed Forces Argonaut watch. So this watch is a brand new watch, loaned into me for a short period of time, and even though it's brand new, it feels like I'm holding a little piece of history in my hand right there. And if we take a look closer at the case back, it says approved by Her Majesty's Armed Forces. Bremont aren't going to be allowed to produce them anymore. They're going to be a limited run of these watches now because obviously there's now a king on the throne. So amazing to think that this watch is, it feels like a little time capsule. And it's just been more poignant for me having this Bremont in hand, wearing it throughout the last couple of weeks, because as I say, it's been quite an emotional time. But we have to move on, and we're talking about the Bremont Argonaut in bronze. Now, bronze is a super fashionable material at the moment. Tons of brands are using it. And for me, bronze, I like it, but I think a lot of people, it's going to be a Marmite effect. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And for me, experiencing bronze, it's not quite that gold feeling, is it? But it is something different from the run-of-the-mill stainless steel watches. And it's been super comfy, super good looking. But patina, that's a word that I'd never heard of until I got into watches. And for me, it's not something I appreciate with a watch. I want my watch to look as pristine as possible for as long as possible. And having a patinaed watch, no, I'm going to be trying to buff it up and make it look as pristine, as clean as possible going forward. This watch comes in at a 42mm case, but if I can describe it as a compact 42, it wears really, really well. It's got a low profile. It is 50mm lug to lug, which is about the maximum that you'd want, I feel. 12.7mm thick, which is absolutely nothing, and 20mm lugs. So it's going to work well on other straps and NATOs, so it's a really good option. And as I previously mentioned, this is part of Her Majesty's Armed Forces collection, and they've got quite a few different variants within that, and there's quite a few that I like, to be honest. And the thing that are different about these watches is that it's not got the Bremont triptych case design that is synonymous with Bremont. So whether you like that case design or not, it's just a little bit different from your average Bremont. So the dial it's like a denim blue, and it comes on a denim blue strap again, which is super good looking. And I love that kind of denim blue because it goes well with jeans ultimately. But if I told you there was 8 different colours on the dial, you would think I'm crazy. And I had to double check a couple of times, but it's true. There's 8 colours on the dial. So you've got the red seconds hand to start with. Then you've got the bronze coloured hands. Then we go to the dial and you've got the white markers. And then you've got a black date window. Then we go to the bezel, inner bezel, and you've got like a turquoise main colour. Then you've got the different colour greeny markers. And then you've got the orange strip around the edge as well. Count them up, guys. That is 8 colours. Now, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like it's messy. But when you're wearing the watch, the bezel and the dial really do soak into each other well. They work well as colours. But then the rest of the colours, you can't really notice them. A little downside, I would say, is the seconds hand in red. Possibly a little bit lazy. They could have done that with a little orange tip to match the bezel. And I think it'd have brought the watch together. But that's been super picky. And as I say, you don't actually notice it when you're wearing the watch. The sailcloth strap for me is... I like it, but the first time I wore it, I forgot I was wearing it, and I put it in the shower, and it was soaking, and it took about a couple of hours to dry. So not ideal. Yes, it can take getting wet, but it's a little bit comfortable on the wrist when it is wet. It's comfortable, it wears well, it's really, really sturdy and strong. So for me, that's a really good option. I think ultimately this watch is going to look great on a NATO. Maybe a turquoise NATO to go with the outer bezel for me would work really, really well. Now, I have found a bit of an issue with this watch, and I don't know whether it's all compressor watches or all internal bezel watches, but when you try to actually set it to a certain time, it's a lot more tricky, and as you screw it in, it seems to push the bezel back maybe a minute or so. And for me, it's a little bit more tricky than it wants to be, especially when I'm timing a beer in the freezer or doing a bit of cooking or whatever we actually use timing bezels for. So yeah, for me, that action could be a little bit smoother and a little bit easier, and ultimately be a little bit quicker to use. So at £3,500, this watch is not to be sniffed at. It's going to be an expensive watch, but you do get value for money. You're getting a great brand. I think Bremont are becoming bigger and better as they go. It's a great looking watch. It's a great everyday watch. You can wear it in all different kind of occasions. And it's 300 meters water resistance there, which is fantastic. It's got a chronometer movement, which is the BE92AV. The downside, only 38 hours power reserve. But if this is going to be your only watch, that doesn't matter. You can get away with a low power reserve. Super Luminova, sapphire crystal, which you'd obviously expect, and it's got the sailcloth strap. But for me, NATO, possibly the way to go on this watch. Yeah, so for me, this watch is a winner. 42mm. It's really wearable. As I say, it's really compact. It's really good looking. It's a little piece of history now with the case back, which is really quite poignant, quite exciting for me. That I want to get one of the old Her Majesty's Services watches before that they're all sold out and they're changing the case back. The case design, as I say, it's not the triptych design. It's a little bit different. Super low profile, so super comfy. And bronze. Ultimately, you're going to look at this watch. If you don't like bronze, you won't like this watch. And if you've got an inkling that you think, yeah, I want to try a bronze watch, I think this watch could be for you. Anyway, guys, as always, I want to know what you think about this watch. For me, it's a winner, but I am an avid Bremont fan, so I'm a little bit biased. Right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.